streams of engineering, agricultural engineering is one of its kind. Probably never heard of or understood, isn't it? Yes, so today I will be talking about Bachelor's in Technology in Agricultural Engineering. The journey which I faced in this education and the career afterwards. While pursuing this degree, what were the skills, the qualities, the opportunities and challenges I faced? I studied in a boarding school and I was lucky enough that my thoughts were free flow. And I did not have any influence of my parents on the thoughts. The parents would not like this, yes, but my thoughts were very free in the school. And hence, sometimes I wanted to become a doctor, sometimes a scientist just because I scored the highest marks in the unit test in science, or sometimes an aerospace engineer because ISRO had just launched a satellite, and many others to count on. And my careers were changing as soon as the years were changing. Then, in the holidays of 10th, my cousin introduced to one of his senior friends who was a professor in agriculture university. I was just a mere listener there. But they talked about engineering, agriculture, the water scarcity, the careers, what their students were doing, and the first seeds of agricultural engineering as a career were sown. Yes, I did not decide during that time, but I was just thinking, yes, agricultural and the allied sciences, specifically agriculture engineering, is one of the careers. I did not make a decision. And on the basis of 10th marks, I had to take science. Not that I was forced to, yes, social was one impact, but I also loved science and took a PCMB, physics, chemistry, maths and biology, without any inclination towards or maths or bio, and I like both of them. But during the journey of 12th, and I was seeing all my seniors, all my cousins, all my relatives were cramping for good marks, bad marks, which engineering college to take. Oh, I did not make up to the pharmacy college or to the MBBS college. I thought, in the world of generalization, there is something for a special or something for niche. We should decide whether we want to be among the masses or we want to be someone who is special or someone is niche. Do you want to go to the top so that everybody can see you? Or even if somebody is at the top and somebody can see you among the masses because you are doing something special. And hence, I thought so. Agricultural engineering is one of the careers. Why so? Because when I did some of the research after my 12th, I found that only 400 engineers pass out of Maharashtra, and that is one of the highest in agriculture engineering producing states, while other states have 60, 50 as their batches. And hence I thought, if there are only 400 agriculture engineers, I believe that everybody would at least get a job, a good job, and at least some of them would do good in their careers. And hence, I thought agriculture engineering is the thing. And also it is also somewhere in my background, because coming from a rural background, I was hearing some terms of water scarcity, BT cotton, farm implements, tractors, because whenever I used to go to holidays at my relative's place or at my grandmother's place, I used to hear these sentences or hear these words or hear all these see these activities and operations. And it was not on the career perspective, but it was all more on the knowledge perspective. I never knew that something I would take it over the period of my career. And then I took up agriculture engineering under Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit. So degree was Bachelor's in Technology in Agriculture Engineering from Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit, and I took up Nasik campus. Nasik because, of course, Nasik is one of the hotbeds of agriculture technology in India. So any new agriculture technology, whether it be the digital technology or whether it be the machinery technology, Nasik is one of the first to adopt. And I took up agriculture engineering. And it was a normal journey of engineering which every engineer in his first year gets. That is, what is the scope? What should I do? What are the best alumni doing? What are the seniors doing? What are the professors doing? And this was first year wherein I was only searching for the answers for Is it the right decision I have made? What is the scope? What can I do? What are the placements? But then slowly I recognize agriculture is facing a lot of problems. And then problems leads to challenges and challenges leads to opportunities. And I found that if there are more and more problems in agriculture, I think so there are opportunities and we need to overcome these challenges and take up these opportunities. So what is agriculture engineering? Somebody would say application of engineering in agriculture. I would say it is the human addition of engineering to the forces of nature, that is agriculture. That is agricultural engineering. That is whatever the human has created in terms of engineering, the laws of physics, the chemistry, have to be applied to the forces of nature, the supreme force of nature, that is the agriculture. We all face the same subjects of engineering, like in the first year, in fact, M1, M2, machine drawing, physics, engineering graphics. Yes, and I would not explain you about what these subjects are because these are the subjects which any of the engineers would understand. But there are a few of the subjects which are special to agricultural and allied sciences and also for agricultural engineering. For any of the agricultural and allied sciences, the key subjects are agriculture, horticulture, and agricultural economics. What is in agriculture? In agriculture, it is all about the physiology of the plant. Why does the plant have the germination at the 8th day and not the 18th day? Why it has the impact of the sun? Why does it we have to harvest only at the 6th month and not at the 3rd month or the 1 year? Such questions have been answered in agriculture. While in horticulture, all about the horticultural crops and the orchard crops and the fruits which we eat. What is the grafting? That is how do we cut the stem and help it to grow another plant? How to harvest it? How to store them? That is all what we learned in horticulture. And in farm economics is all about how do we understand agriculture? How do we calculate the ROIs of agriculture? And how do we state upon that how do we put up the cost of A and B and C and then understand whether we have made a profit into agriculture. You would be surprised to know that you take any stream in the world or any product in the world, the producer decides the price for it. You take my watch, it has been decided by the buyer and the seller will buy it if he wants to buy it at that price. You take the shirt, the seller will decide the price and the buyer may or may not buy it. But agriculture is one of the professions wherein the producer does not decide the price. It is the market forces. And hence, agriculture economics is one of the key aspects and that is also one of the challenges in this sector. Not agriculture engineering, but agriculture as a whole. This was about agriculture. Coming to specifically of agriculture engineering, we have 3-4 buckets wherein we do most of our projects or most of our subjects. The first is farm machinery and power. It is all about the implements which are used in agriculture and which are used for planting, field preparation, harvesting and others. Tractors is one of the most popular one which everybody knows about. So the knowledge in this segment or in this part of the subjects, farm machinery and power, is about understanding the tractor. Now yes, the tractor would be understood by any other engineer who knows machines as well. But how deep the share should go, what should be the width of the shares, how much speed it should go, how height it should have, what implement should we put in, all this has to deal in wherein it is about machines, man and the nature, and that is about the combination of farm machinery and power. One is the tractors and the harvesters and also about the planters as well. We talk about Maharashtra specifically as an important state. 2 important crops, sugarcane and cotton, are still being manually harvested. While in the Western world or in the European or in the American countries, it is all harvested by the machines, and that is where we see a big opportunity where mechanization of agriculture is the next big thing, and it has just started. Only 2% of the sugarcane is harvested by machines, and cotton is almost zero. So there is more and more scope. This was about farm machinery and power. The important subject which is more important to me, or the important aspect of agriculture engineering, is irrigation drainage engineering. We all know about water as an important commodity on earth, and we hear about the importance of water and what water as a scarcity will have and what the problems human will face in the coming future. If you see about the usable water on the earth, available water on the earth, 70% of the water goes for agriculture. Hence, we should think outside the sink when we talk about saving the water, because domestic use is only 10 to 15%. So whether we save 10% of agriculture, it saves 7%. But if we save only 10% of domestic, it is only 1-2%. So the focus while we talk about scarcity of water should be on agriculture, and hence irrigation drainage engineering is one of the key aspects. When we understand the different irrigation techniques of how the crops can grow, and one of the technologies is drip irrigation, which is dear to my heart because I am into this sector, the water sector, and specifically into a drip irrigation company. This is about the irrigation drainage engineering. One key fact: how much water does a 1 cup of tea require? A normal person would say 200 milliliters, 100 milliliters. It takes 30 liters for a cup of tea, because tea comes from the tea crop. Tea crop requires water to grow. Tea requires milk. Milk is given by the buffalo or the cow. The cow and the buffalo grazes, eats grass. The grass requires water to grow. Tea requires sugar. Sugar comes from sugarcane. Sugarcane requires water to grow. Hence, it is very critically important to see the water footprint of each of the food which we eat, and irrigation drainage engineering is one of the windows to see it. The third is about soil and water conservation engineering. We all know soil, plant and water have an important relationship in agriculture, and that is what we study here. Yes, what grows in Konkan may not grow in Western Maharashtra, or may not grow in Vidarbha, or may not grow in Chhattisgarh or Delhi. It is also about what water has been given, what is the soil, and also what are the nutrients given to it. Hence, we discuss, or when we understand about the soil and water conservation, what is the soil, how can we harvest, how can we water harvest and make it useful for the crops which we grow. This was about soil water engineering. The fourth one, which is the important aspect and one of the trends, not in India but the world as well, is agri-process engineering. The chips you eat, the sausages, the sauce, the jams are processed food. And here it is important to understand what is the method, what is the process, and what is the science behind it. And agri-process engineering gives us a clear picture of how does this happen, what are the precautions to be taken, and what are the different avenues which we can do about it. What is the preservation of the food required. And we all know that agri-processed food is something which will have in future. Yes, only 3% of the food is processed, and this is going to increase and increase over the period of time, and hence agri-process engineering will have its own importance. Now we see all these factors, we see a lot of scope. Yes, mechanization is at its ideal stage, is its nascent stage. Irrigation is at its nascent stage, agri-process engineering at its nascent stage. Everything seems to be at nascent stage, but everything is also moving at a slow pace. And that is also one of the challenges, because in agriculture or in agriculture engineering or any of the agricultural projects, even if you are made one factor as perfect, it is not necessary that you will succeed, because this field is a combination of numerous factors, and even if you want to perfect one factor, the other factors which may not be in your hand will play its part, and your experiment or your project may or may not be successful, and that is one of the challenge. There is always and always a scope of improvement for your projects, and hence the ideal situation is going and hitting to the roof. We may not hit it, but it's always that we need to have minimum risk in all the factors which may not work in our favor. One of the key aspects of agricultural engineering, because agricultural engineering is about machines, about the laws of nature. One, because we have to understand and upgrade ourselves of this field, practical thing is also an important aspect. And that is one key thing here, is that after second year of agriculture engineering, there is a summer training where students go to different organizations and understand what they have learned in the first 2 years and try to gain knowledge or see things. So after second year, I went to Budni, a tractor training center. The name is Central Farm Machinery Institute and Tractor Training Institute, where any tractor which is launched in India is been tested there. And similarly, in the third year, it is also about another summer training project which generally people take into an organization. And now agriculture engineering has a different aspect where the 8th semester was 4 months of industrial training, where the students get industrial training. In the 4th year, every student like me as well wanted to crave about which path should I choose after engineering. Yes, the obvious was to go for a job, but then I realized if I want to leverage my skills or if I want to do the best in the field, we should have something more, or I should add more value in my education. And I took up agribusiness management. I took up postgraduate program in agribusiness management from National Institute of Agricultural Extension and Management from Manage Hyderabad. And this is where till now I had knowledge which were most limited to Maharashtra, and then all the avenues of all India came, where students from different parts of India came and shared their knowledge about agriculture. So I was getting to know how rice is grown in Orissa, and it was more of a learning journey with my friends. And just like an MBA, in the first year of, I did my project with an Israeli company in drip irrigation, wherein I traveled 50 days in Gujarat, spoke to about 300 farmers, listened to their perspectives, expectations and stories. And this is one of the key things in agriculture engineering or any of the agricultural allied sciences. We need to have the urge to travel, because agriculture does not happen in labs, it does not happen in workshops, it happens in the field. And it doesn't happen in the field where you just go 10 kilometers away and you are able to see the field always here and there. You have to go to this field, you have to travel 10 kilometers, see another field, you have to travel another 100 kilometers, see another field. Because each field may be different of its kind. And that is one of the key quality aspects which I feel, and I love traveling. Of course, traveling helps you a lot in your career afterwards as well. And in this project, afterwards, I started working for this company, Netafin. And this journey of 7 years in this company was in learning about drip irrigation, learning about greenhouses, and now about digital farming solutions. That is helping the farmers automate their farms. Now I'm handling the digital farming portfolio, wherein more and more farmers are adopting their farms and automating their farms for irrigation and fertigation. That is one of the products which I handle. Yes, I did this path of agribusiness management after my agriculture engineering, but many of my batchmates had their different careers. One, of course, people went into jobs directly, that is into irrigation companies, agri-process engineering companies, or tractor companies. Tractor companies being most of the popular. Some of the batchmates went for research. They did their MTechs and then after their PhDs, and now a few of them are scientists at various organizations. And one of the most popular paths in agriculture and allied sciences is the government jobs, wherein students give the exams for MPSC or UPSC or even the agricultural MPSC and get into administrative post or in agricultural post. And that is one of the trends in all the agricultural allied sciences, wherein students encourage themselves to work for the administration or for the agricultural sector. There is also banking as one of the important scope in this sector, wherein there are need of all of the agricultural officers in the banks, and it requires an agriculture engineer or a BSc Agri grad or any of the agricultural allied sciences. This is about the overall trend which my batchmates took in about. So some my batchmates, yes, I'm a manager. Few of my batchmates are government officers, bank officials. The best ones are the ones who are doing farming because they are earning good money and tax-free income. And some of them are teachers, professors, scientists at government organization. Because India is an agrarian economy still, in fact, the most of the population is still dependent on agriculture. There are a lot of government institutes and government organization, and hence a lot of people going into research into such organizations. So to summarize about what agriculture and agricultural engineering is, one, you need to be social and simple. Social because you need to talk to farmers. There is no position or there is no job profile in this sector wherein you cannot live without interacting with the farmers. You have to interact with the farmers, even if you're into research. To get a feedback of your research or get to know needs of the market, you need to go and talk to the farmers. And that's why you need to be social, should be able to talk to farmers, should be more of an extrovert personality, and more importantly, you need to be simple. You need to understand the complex things and able to explain to the people, especially the farmers, in a more of a simplistic way, because they don't want complex things, they want the simplest things, and because of the profile and the education level they have. So this is about the qualities about what an agricultural engineering or an agriculture graduate have. This was about the journey. Yes, it is one of the rarest, I would say, fields, agriculture engineering in terms of agriculture, but the need is also as such, because more and more people, the need of agriculture would never go up as soon as human beings are on this planet. So just to summarize about agriculture engineering, I would say that it is a field where you need to work acre by acre, not by hours by hours.